Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Voiton from Flux Makerspace. I'm starting a video series about some basic understandings of things we need to learn as developers, which is great for founders, for people looking to get into coding as a job, and or just people looking to leverage technology in their life. This video series is going to go over a couple of small things here and there, so you can click and understand reference it. What we need to do as developers is we have to go over a couple basic things to really understand. Here at Flux Makerspace, we go through development. We do it first and then we learn it rather than at the school level, which is learn it and then do it first. And so we're going to kind of go in this video series, go over these beginner's essentials and kind of help you all understand why we do things and how we do it. So as a developer, we use Terminal. And Terminal allows us to navigate folders and do a lot more powerful things. The advantages of Terminal gives you a lot of power. Disadvantages, you need to know coding to use it. And so the first thing we always do in Terminal is we can ls will list things out, and we can do ls-l. And so disadvantages of using terminals, we can't see the folder we're in and the items that are in it. So we have to type out ls, which just means to list it, and we can see all these folders. And ls-l will list it and give you details about it, but also makes it a little bit easier to read. And so I have this file folder here called, these are my different projects I'm working on right now. So I'm going to go into this folder. So you do cd to go into a folder, cd space dot dot will go back up a level, and pwd will tell us where we're at. So here we're in hack, and then if we go into that folder, and we can always press up to get back to a command. So now if I say pwd, look, I'm in a folder here, hack, and now I'm in this folder called Eldritch. And so what I need to do next is to activate my virtual environment. Great, and then I could run the app. So as soon as you see this on the left here, this means that I'm in a virtual environment. And what is a virtual environment? And we'll get into that later, but a virtual environment real fast is just a safe space for your app to run, because you might have 5 different apps with different dependencies. One might be using Python 2.8, another one might be using Python 3.1, and they all have their own virtual environments, because if you didn't use virtual environment, none of these apps would run, because how do you know if your app needs to use what version of what? So we use virtual environments to create stable working environments. So now I can run my app. And then I could go over to localhost 8000, and here's this app, which is a trading card game that we're making here at Flux Makerspace, which is a pretty fun thing to do. So that's how we run an app. And real fast, what we just learned there is cd. We learned some Unix here. So what did we learn? We learned cd All right, great. So this is what we just learned here, and to wrap it up, to summarize it, so that's what you do if you already have a project working locally. And so to make sure to kind of go back a level, so there's also a command called mkdir, which will make a directory. So here we're going to call it test. That already exists, so I'm going to remove that. rm-rf will delete a folder and everything in it. So that's what that's doing there. I'm going to make a new folder called test, go into that folder, and now let's pretend we don't have a project locally we want to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to github.com, where all projects should be hosted on GitHub, and to download it I'm going to go to get this. So you're going to copy that. You're going to say git clone, and now that's going to download that project. I'm going to say ls to look at it. Oh, okay, there's a folder here called Eldritch. I need to go into it. And now if I look, this doesn't have a virtual environment already made, so I got to make one. So I'll say virtual env my env -p python 3, And so this creates a virtual environment, and this -p flag compiles it using Python 3. So once that gets created, so while that's getting created, I'm going to add some things here. So we learned mkdir, and we learned rm-rf, and this will delete a folder and everything in it. So you got to be careful with this. This is unrecoverable. So once this is done, the last two things we have to do is go source myenv bin activate to activate the virtual environment. And there's another command here called pip install -r requirements.txt. And then from here, this will install all the dependencies. And if we look at this file, it's right here. This is all the dependencies part of this project. So this will install all of those into your virtual environment. And then all you got to do is run the app with manage py run server. And then you have to just go to your browser and type in localhost 8000. And so, this is just the basics. So with this, you should be able to run any app. I don't know why this is taking so long. Oh, there you go. So real fast, I'll be able to. So I'm already in a virtual environment, so I got to get out of that and go into this new one. And I do pip install -r requirements.txt. And that's going to install all the requirements. And after that's done, we can run the server and we're good to go. So, within a few minutes there, we were able to figure out how to do this. And thank you so much for joining here.